Aloha Pa, hello my dear friends, the people of the planet Earth. I have the privilege as a human being to speak with you, and I hope these talks stimulate you and you do the same thing, think about it and see what you could contribute. Well, today time is 11:45 on 16th of November. Ooh, time passes so fast. I've been really sick last 2 weeks. Now finally I'm getting a little bit better. So I'm to speak tonight about the fourth relationship that we have. Just for summary, those who haven't heard, I spoke the first is the relationship to your spouse, the second is to your mother and children, the third is your immediate family. Now we're going outside of the immediate family in the gene pools, and we're coming out right now to the people that they're not connected to us materially, genetically, and we call this relationship friendship. Friendship must be the most august of all the possible relationship that two men could have. It seems all the relationship ends at one point, even the relationship to your children, to your father and mother. This seems like they have an end. They're like a policy. They mature and they go away and they fade away, unless they turn and evolve into friendship. One of the Imam of Islam, His Holiness Imam Jafar, the sixth Imam, they ask him, friendship is better or brotherhood? He says, brothers better be friends too. And in the Baha'i Faith, there are many things unique about it. One of the unique things in the revelation of Baha'u'llah is that God calls us friend, among many other things. Sometimes the word servant has come, as it is in the dispensations of the past. But Baha'u'llah were called friends of God. Baha'is really are called friends of God. And it seems God Himself is tired of Godhead. And He wants to be friend and love. That is what it is. Baha'u'llah quotes in one of the poem, one line, one bite, he says, from Rumi in Seven Valleys or Fourth Valleys, I don't remember. But he says, to be God is a headache, and to be a servant is a slavery. This is what the love dictates. So this love and friendship between people, it seems the final. Friendship usually starts from the childhood that we know people. It seems that those days the bondages becomes very, very strong, because it seems those are the only days we're capable of being friend. Again, another meaning of the word of Jesus Christ, that He says you cannot enter the kingdom of God unless you're like children. One of the things children have, and they are excelling us adults, is that they become friend with each other. And next day you want to see each other again. We are not so much like them. So this friendship usually becomes, from the childhood, many times, many ways, continues. So when people say my best friend, usually they mean the person that's seen him from his childhood. Because as the age goes up and you marry and have children and find jobs, different provinces, different countries, this kind of friendship also fades away. In the West, when they talk about friendships as one of my friends, that really means acquaintance. Somebody they're acquainted with, they know him. In Arabic country, in Middle East, South Americans, and other countries, India, friendship is a lot stronger, a lot deeper and more profound. In the West, is not as much. I believe without capability of friendship or having friend, mankind is handicapped. I've written here, friendship is really the solution and the remedy for lots of psychological problem, weakness in characters, especially for being sad and lonely. And friendship is that important. So, but we have to analyze this relationship a little bit better. Let's go deeper into it, as I do usually. Friendship essentially is between two people because they enjoy each other's company, and it could solve the issue of entertainment. If you want to get entertained because you're lonely, you call your friends, or you see your friends and you can talk about all kind of things. This line of friendship is basically, as I said, with associations and speaking with each other. You can achieve that. Usually people, they see each other in coffee shop, casually they speak. They're a friend of mine. It's not deeper than that. But if you go higher level, you actually feel more confident when you're with your friend. This can be a remedy for fear and anxiety. For example, if you're between some peoples, I brought that example last time too. If you're in one area and one huge enemy is coming to you, or some disaster is happening, you may not be able to take it by yourself, but if there are two or many of you are there, less fear comes. It seems fear is some emotion that just like a hot potato is given from one hand to another. So people are less afraid when they're with their friends, and the enemy might be able to get rid of them all. But it's still one as opposed to many. It creates that bravery and get rid of the fear. Fear is the big things. You want to get rid of the fear, you have to have some good friends. So you can go further up to become friend, that it will be a distinguished relationship. You may not have this relationship with your father, with your mother, with your children, even with your spouse, where you say to your friends all your secrets, things that you cannot share and speak to your own wife, to your other people. Simply, it will not be appropriate for them to know. But you could share it with a person. Now the friendship and this relationship becomes totally something unique, more important even than the spousal relationships. And it can go further on to another level, that they start to give each other some money. If something happens to a friend, calls him long distance, you could go there to find out that he's in trouble. He goes to jail, he's in trouble, money-wise, sociologically, economically. Friend, can come right there. Your brothers may not, but your friends will. But again, friendship is a relationship that needs feeding. You have to update it all the time, or else in the course of time it could die. Sometimes even turns into enmity. It goes really bad. So in order to strengthen the friendship, the medium, the reason of the friendship has to be stronger. Not simply that you know my secrets and I know your secrets, and we could do a few things. Yeah, we could enjoy, with each other. But if you are with your friend, it can even that turn into a dull relationship, and you still feel that you need somebody else, because the reason and the medium for the friendship is because you told your stories, or there's some economics involved or some sociological issues involved. Whatever that binds you and ties your friends are not very strong, or it can change those ties, and that can break down the friendship. But if we classify this relationship of the friendship that we have, they're either economical or sociological or spiritual. Now that's different. If there is a fellowship and a spiritual reason for being together, that can go on forever. Especially if gives fruits, becomes fruitful. But to be very careful not to mix it with the economical issues. Don't give money to your friend without asking receipts, especially if it's big money. Or say that one of these members, let's say example of the Baha'is, one of them becomes a member of Universal House of Justice, and this guy is just an ordinary guy in the streets. It becomes hard when these things happens. It can change the friendship. So how to find a friend at a later stage of life, which you never had these friends from your childhood, to be friend from a person of different culture. To begin with, if we want to have friend, we have to start to know them. This knowing people makes them attracted to us, or maybe not. But it starts from knowing people. And if you start to talk and to know people and exchange, ideas and views, we start to keep knowing each other, and we have to continue to do this. And the media, the reason and what the mechanics of it has to be talking, speaking. Those who want to get together to have sex with each other, they will not become friends. Those who want to give money each other's, they become acquaintance. Even you could love the guy, but it's not still your friend. But you have to start to talk and exchange things that is important for you. You like to see, or to see in people. But these talks, if they are on the material issues, social issues, politics, it also dies out. In some cases, I've seen friendship between families because of children. The reason is that children are together, and these couples, they go to picnics, to go for some trips or something. Even those does not create a profound friendship. A mostly family relationship, again, it kicks out, started from the childhood because they were going to the same school or were raised together and whatnot. Otherwise, in the later stage, a little bit difficult, more difficult. So, in the later stage, in my age, I'm 55, if I start to be friend with somebody, I would have to use a media of a connector, a bridge. It could be art, it could be social activities, like environmentalists as they are, or sometimes they get, protestings or whatever. But if it is this camaraderie and friendship is based on the beliefs, based on the ideas, based on the convictions, based on ideology, religion, spiritual values, it can go on a long time. This was, for example, the friendship between Fidel Castro and Che Guevara. They were both communists, and they believed some ideologies. And they were working for that to create and bring that ideology up. That made them friends, stronger friends. So ideology is very important. that makes it. But I can guarantee you today that if a person is lonely and he wants a solid friendship, a good platonic friendship, he has to get into the ideas, ideology, study the Baha'i Faith, get into it, and visit the Baha'is in firesides and start to talk, continue those talks out of those firesides into their houses, and go on, but without prejudice, to be detached from ideas. Get ready to learn more. We always like to say to the other people who we are, but then we want him to take our ideas, adopt it. Get ready to do the same thing yourself. And this creates gradually friendship. And really that is what the Baha'i Faith is. Baha'i Faith is a media, is a catalyst, is what God has brought to cement us together. The goal is not the faith of God. The goal is what comes out of this ideology. That would be friendship. If we're friends with each other, start to know each other and talk, and then talks about the faith in between, that will strengthen it up. But we have to remember, the goal is friendship, is not Baha'i Faith. I can't say that I'm teaching the Baha'i Faith to the people, therefore I start through friendship to tell them. It shouldn't be that way. You could have started in a friendly manner. You could have started, say that, I'm passing by and I'm a person and I know about this faith and I'd like to share it with you if you like. There's a pamphlet, there's some address. Okay, that's teaching. But you're planning to be friend with these guys because you're to manipulate him to change his belief and ideas, and if he doesn't, you want to leave him. That is not very good. No. Then we're changing the goal to become a means, and the means is becoming the goal. This goes other way around. Baha'i Faith has come to help us to become friend. We can't use our friendship to, So this is why one of the principles in the Baha'i Faith is that religion is the cause of friendship and unity. If this causes disunity, Abdul Basit throw it out the door. That's not good. So if you have a friend and tomorrow he disagrees with you and he doesn't want to talk about Baha'i Faith, don't push him. Just don't talk anymore about it. Just continue to be friend. You have to be friend as a Baha'i. This is what's unique about it. With the people who are different from you. You have to accept these differences should not stop you from friendship. It's very important. I have a friend was here, Jack. After 25 years I saw him. This guy is an staunch Christian. Baptist. And we talk a lot of time about Baha'i Faith. I give my idea, he gives his idea. But I never planned to change him. And he has noticed that. And he sometimes gets the books and reads and, we reach to, I see that if the idea is to speak, I try to bring verses of Christ and bring the Baha'i ideas, but I use the word of Christ because he likes it that way more. Okay. And so we're very much friend, and he's not even thinking to change me from Baha'i Faith. There's amazing things about him, that's what I like him. He's completely Christians, Baptist, but he's friend with me. and we've done a lot of things, in the past. And I value it. I see myself that, look, there's a guy here who talks about the Bible. For example, at the time we're having food, he says that, can I pray? Christians do that. I told him, of course. And then I say, amen. What's wrong with that? So, somebody might, see me that I'm too feeble and I don't want to push him to become a Baha'i. I told him, get this out of your head, Jack, that I want you to be a Baha'i. I do not want you to be anything but what you like. Okay? It's just that I happen to be a Baha'i and you happen to be Christ. But it seems what we say is the same thing. You agree with all my ideologies. So, yeah, we have sometimes clashes, friendly clashes. He thinks God is sovereign over all things, and therefore he thinks even Bin Laden is made by God, even the clouds, whatever people do. And I try to tell him that that's not the case, Jack. That would not be the case. If God knows somebody wants to kill somebody and he doesn't do anything about it, then it's a bad God, isn't it? When it comes to human being, God simply doesn't know what we are doing. This is my personal belief. Even the Baha'is may disagree with me. I don't believe that God knows what is in my head and what I want to do. Because he made it like this. He gave me willpower and he gave me intelligence. By the willpower, I lock my mind. No one knows what I think and what I'm going to do. He doesn't know God. He could force us to go one way or other, then we will become like an animal. Instinctively we obey him. He doesn't want that. That's animal realm. In here he wants us by our own willpower to do what we like to do. He likes to see a little bit of excitement. So he created us in that way, gave us the willpower. It's not our own will, it is his will. There can be two wills, it's all one will. So our will that we have is kind of borrowed from him. And for sometimes to see what we do with it, but he doesn't know anything about it. They were very limited when we were 70 years old and we die, but still. So he disagrees with that. He says, no, you're making God too feeble. God should know everything. I told him, no, my concept is different. And then we joke and whatnot. So we have to watch out that we don't, push each other's because of the faith. Friendship is what's the goal, not becoming a Baha'i, really. And I'm going to say a few factors that, destroy the friendship. One of the things that makes a friendship to die is that two friends, they get together and they start backbite other people. Oh, that guy did this to me, this guy did to me, and that guy's bastard, and this and that. That will kill it. Baha'u'llah says, quenches the light of the heart. We can complain from people, but for a reason to understand why they did this or that, that's different, okay? Another thing that kills it is that you borrow money or you lend money or you do something of tangible values and your friend doesn't appreciate it. Try to lend money to your friends and take always a paper that you owe me that much. Say that and write it down. Abdul-Baha recommends it. If you don't do it and he forgets that he paid you or not, the friendship can die because of the economy. This is bad things. It's not because you're not going to give my money, it's just because I may die. And then I don't want you not to get your money after I die. So we have to sign things up when it comes to economical things, anything material. Definitely. Not a lack of trust here. It's not the lack of trust. It's lack of not knowing what the future stands and is. Remember that anytime your friend does something to you and you get angry with him, do not use insulting words and bad words. You may, a lot of people do, but that's bad. Remember, prelude. Before you love a person, you have to respect the person. If you don't know the person, you just see him, you call him, hey, Mr. Jackson, and you use polite word because you don't know him. That's respect. As you start to know and become friend, then you call him Billy. And you say, hey. But in the beginning, so as soon as you get angry, remember, one step lower than love is respect. Respect has to start of the love, not the love. Because two friends can do anything to each other and they don't get mad. You know, Persian, they have a saying, anything comes from a friend, they say it's beautiful. It's nice. If it's from a friend, it's nice. It's from our enemies. Even if they respect you, we don't like it the same. So, the other thing is that can also destroy the friendships is bad habits. Like drinking, smoking, God, breaking laws, a lot of wrong things. This is the huge problem. Because this guy has negative, there are a lot of minus, a lot of negative attributes in him, and he naturally gets attracted to another guy like himself, if he does. Well, he was -5, now he has a friend who does the same thing. He smokes too, so there are two -5 together is -10. If they go on like that, they're smoking on their own. They may not start to, for example, smoke pot or hashish. But 2-3 of these smokers get together because the center is created a center, a losing business. Friendship, unity is like a business. If all of the people are bankrupt and they're not knowing how to do business, well, one guy do something, okay, he may lose so much. But 3-4 people, they don't know how to start a business, let's say a restaurant business. They're all bad. They all have lack of knowledge. Well, such business is going to sure end up to bankruptcy and destroy all these individuals. You see, this is the problem in the Middle East. They think they have to change the regime. They have to change the regime. No. If you use democracy in any country, where individual people are below a standard of the knowledge and information that's required for a mature person in our century, when they start a business, he's -1, but 50 million of them getting together is a -50 million forces created in the center. It sucks the life of all of them. That's where the dictatorship comes. Because people with the negative characters, when they get together, they created bigger negative characters, a big negative governments. I will be speaking about government, politics, and economy later on. But if the unity of people in the form of a nation creates a government, even democratically, and that government is more stupid than the individual member of that society, that is the disaster then. This unity is not good. It's better not to have any government. Friendship between the alcoholics, it's just going to make them more alcoholic. The next thing is that they want to do crack and cocaine. You can see the same thing in Canada. I've seen it. The boy had a small little mistake he made, whatever. Now he gets arrested. They send him to the school of crime. That's what the law does. Tell him, okay, boy, you stole a visa or embezzled somebody for 10, 20 bucks. We as the government and the police and the judge in Canada, we say that, man, you're not professional thief. This is why we're sending you to jail so you can become a better professional thief. We're going to send you to go get graduated. Well, what's going to happen with a boy that has one negative mark to stay and become the companion of 100 people that are much worse than him? They're all going to give it to him. The combination is worst. So if you're a smoker and your friend is also a smoker, what do? You say, okay, since you're one negative charge and I'm another negative, on my own I decided not to smoke weight. but you want to smoke. Well, chances are I'm going to get, with you, and I'm going to start back to smoking as we go. Let's make it a rule for us. We can smoke individually at home, but when we come together to meet each other, to talk to each other as a friend, at that moment of the friendship, we're together, we're not going to smoke. Now you're progressing. Okay? Now you're progressing. Because the reason, and the media, the prime directive, the constitution, just like a country that you're putting in the center, is going to prevent your bad habits to come up. Individually, Canadians have zero tolerance as opposed to a man from India. An Indian man, I give him 10 to a normal Canadian, including myself. I'll give 1 when it comes to tolerance. Indian man from India has a lot of tolerance. Lots. Canadians don't have. Isn't it crazy? We intolerant people are creating a very tolerant government. There's no government in the world, I can totally say that, maybe some, is as tolerant as the government of Canada. It's the government of God, made by the people who are intolerant themselves. How? It's because they've used their intelligence to have set a goal that is higher than themselves. The Constitution or Government of Canada, it's sublime, is way bigger than the individuals. Therefore, people, although they're not very good, get together, they create a better government. So is the Baha'i government. Universal laws of justice is infallible, but is made out of fallible people. How can I'm infallible and this other guy's I'm fallible and other guys are fallible? We're all in mistakes. How could thousands and millions of the Baha'is, who are all imperfect, create a perfect system? How could we do this? Because both perfections and imperfections are in us. The truth, let's say it's the word T-R-U-T-H. I got the T. I go with you, you got the R, and here's the U, and here's the T, here's the H. Together we create the truth. Isn't it? We also have wrong, mistakes. There's also, while we have T for the truth, we have also M for mistake, or W for wrong in us. So, what's the guarantee that when I'm coming together, my W doesn't go with your R, and if it is his O and his N and the other G, and create a wrong? But Baha'u'llah has made it that W, R, O, and G of the people don't come on the surface, but their T, R, U, T, H comes up. Why? Because it's created a magnet in the center that attracts your little truth that you have. It lives away the wrong. That magnet is the Constitution, is the faith of God. If you're coming there, you're bound to emanate the good things. You're going to talk as a Baha'i to a person to become friend. In your friendship with him, he'll automatically see a lot of good things in you. You don't backbite, you don't slander, you don't, use polite words. This will encourage him to be the same. All of a sudden, you two create a very nice bond. You see, because the center of attraction that we're gathering together is the sun of the truth. We face the sun, all our faces gets illuminated. But if the sun is dead, like the sun of Islam and sun of Christianity and the past religion, we'll look at it, we're all dark. So this is the secret of the friendship. If it wants to succeed, it has to have a point of attractions, a gravitational field, which is the truth, the real truth of God. So, like a TV I am, like a horror channel on it, and there is a family channel on it, it's all kind of channel on it. But as a Baha'i, when we get together to the center, we create that perfection. This is why universal laws of justice is infallible. Because myself cannot be infallible, but there is point of infallibility in me, little, maybe one. The other one is another one. Baha'u'llah gathers all these 100 and create a center that's 100% perfect. Yet, it's not belong to anybody. It's their gathering is becoming perfect. So, few words I brought tonight for you about the friendship. And I've written one note here that Baha'u'llah says this. It says, disassociates from the wicked doers. Associate with the good people, the people of God, with those who do good, he says. If you just understand this, among thousands of things Baha'u'llah said, if government of Canada understand this, to not associate with the wicked, well then you don't send this juvenile criminal boy that made a mistake with other criminals in the jail to associate with the wicked doers. Well, he's going to get wicked then, worse. If you understand this, we don't send this boy into that environment. We try to see what we can do with him. Find people that you can find out what are the point of attraction in this boy. See if we can give him a means. But certainly not send him to jail. I said the jail system is a total failure. Okay, dokie. Time is 12:21 now. Oh, our boss is getting tired. Well, I'm not at this depressed because I will die in this planet. And I spoke what was in my heart. What was the result of my living on this planet? In a matter of words, you hear it now. And some people have seen it in action, and finally God is the judge. But I'm going to have to write down my paper for my examinations. So let the Lord God, my Father, your Father, our Father, be the judge of it. And hope at least it can entertain you. At any point of time, I do not intend to say anything in all of these speeches to hurt anyone. One gentleman from Divine Fellowship, he calls himself. I even look at his face, I liked him. And he had some criticism, to his credit, that's how he see it. But whatever his belief is, I do not have any intention at any point, him or anybody else in the world, to be judged by my words or to hurt him. Even if you're sick, even if you're a psycho, you are the child of God, and you're not my child. I'm just your brother. I cannot judge you. I should not, I will not. And if the words is the cause of friendship, I've said who I am. And you say the same thing. Let us understand. One of these racists, who calls himself racist, probably this man who says remarks that Anglo-Saxons and white Europeans and all that, and they're looking at the purity of genes and purity of blood. If they really want something like that to happen in this planet, then they all have to associate with all the races, from blacks, whites, Arabs, Finnish, Germans, everyone. If all of them then marry and intermarry, and finally a child comes that is the mix of all the races and genes on the planet, perhaps that would be a return to the original point, because we all came from one source, one race of humanity. There wasn't 2-3 races. Homo sapiens, let's say, they say it right now. And from that, we got diversified into black and white and all of this. So if you're looking for a real, race, the oneness that we're looking for, well then we all have to get together, to create a child that has all the races. That means marry and love and everything else, then, find a good one. So if you want to be a real racist, then you have to be united with all the people in order to create that, the first race, the noble race, that you think the first one was noble. One way to say racism is to achieve the racism, higher capacity of the race, then that's to mix everyone together. Because for now, all of us are the fractions, part of the original man, isn't it? Not all of it. May God and the truth be with you.